Okay. I was gonna say after it was until last year, is either Marty or Sean that explained it to me. I didn't realize that the golfers played the 18 holes each round.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of golf.
I wondered
in
if
3
they
days.
may have changed, like they changed, like what's the whole numbers, but I don't know. But yeah, that's
Each one just start. They got to spread it out.
72.
That's a lot of golf. That is a ton of golf.
No, I think 72 is par. So
Get everyone to get a hole in one in. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. I will say with golf, I feel like that was the first sport where we saw the ball tracker. Maybe
yeah,
is that
maybe
that sound about right?
sports like golf and tennis are kind of maybe ahead of their time with how they use technology. Because there's no better replay than tennis.
Right. I didn't know that. Is that
no? If you
better
think about
replay
it,
system or
no? What is the replay?
Oh, the ball.
They start clapping, and the ball. They look at the shadow of the ball on the screen, and for some reason, it's perfect. How that works, I've no idea.
Good morning, Mom.
Good morning. Yeah, we haven't changed the board in about 2 months, have we?
Yeah, it's the same thing that it's always been. Just the podcast stuff. Good morning, Mr. Martin. Hope everybody's enjoying the starts of their Friday.
Good morning. Happy Friday.
Just talking about some golf and tennis. You ever been to a tennis match or a golf round of a tournament, a golf day?
Not.
Arian, when's your next golf? We're coming out with
It's Monday, so it's in somewhere on the Missouri side. So
I'm about to look at this. Good morning, Lane.
Lane's
How are you doing,
here.
sir?
The voice of Washburn, huh?
The voice of the Ichabod's baseball and softball teams. Congratulations on that gig. I think that's the first year that they're doing something like that. So
yeah, that's pretty good.
Also runs last time I saw Lane was at a Topeka Seaman game, I believe. He was doing. They do They have a radio broadcast over there for their students. That he was overseeing. Good morning, Will.
Mr. Sharp, huh?
Oh, he's the voice of KU softball as well. He's got some KU softball today.
Softball.
Eagles Landing, 12:30, April 12th. I'm about to go look up this Blue Valley Southwest.
So I think it's at Benton or Belton,
Missouri. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I know. On Monday.
Can we ride the team bus with you? Can we carpool?
What I'm thinking is we might, if we go, we just gotta get a little water bottle. That's it.
With water in it, right?
Just have fun.
Let me go check out this athletics page.
Only if Arian listens to my coaching, because he doesn't do a good job listening to my coaching.
You can't be yelling at him from the side.
No, I won't be yelling. This is all I'm going to be doing. Just remember the mentality. That's all I'm going to be doing.
You're just going to be doing this to him?
He knows.
He's going to be giving you the bird back. He'll be like, yeah, you do this, I do.
If I need a fight with some other parents, I might.
There you go. That's my brother out there.
You got a problem? You got a problem? Do we need to take it to the courts? to the putting green?
Meet me on hole 8.
We got a Royals question.
It's perfect. That was first thing I wanted to get into. Will, I'll tell you right now, the Royals are playing so dry offensively because they faced the 2 best pitchers so far in their regular season.
Okay.
I mean, when you go up against Shane Bieber and Lance Lynn, who has been respectively voted in the top 10 for Cy Young, I want to say a couple times the last 3-4 years, then yeah, we're seeing what the Royals offense does against some good pitching. And unfortunately, the result hasn't been what we saw against the Rangers and in the first game against the Indians. And that's all good. Yesterday, Lance Lynn had a complete game shutout where he threw 111 pitches, and 79 of those were strikes. I don't know how much of the game you watched yesterday, but the two big things that stood out for me on the offensive side was that was probably the first game where I didn't see the batters taking or watching as many pitches, and that's even with Carlos Santana, who's the best pitcher watcher, I guess you can say, as a batter, as a best batter on the team that's the best at watching pitches. So yesterday, I don't think they let Lance Lynn pitch to them as much as we saw in the first few games of the year. So that's one of the big things that stood out for me for the Royals is that they weren't taking as many pitches. And you know, in fact, that they didn't have a walk in yesterday's game. They had 0 walks contributed to yesterday's game. And then the next game was for me. They were getting contact on the bat, like they were getting contact, but it was just all, you know, fly outs, line outs. It was fine. It's just one of those things that we're going to see early on. The last 2 games were against last year's Cy Young winner, and then a respectable veteran and Lance Lynn. Just didn't get the results offensively. So but that was the big 2 things for me that I saw was just not getting contact, but ball is just not getting in play for them. Just wasn't their day yesterday offensively, and then not taking enough pitches from the White Sox, which, I mean, that's something that was a huge factor in the first 4 games that we saw this season, and what contributed to their 3 wins so far.
Yeah, I'm just taking a look at the stats. I just let you take the baseball questions, and I just not. When you look at the batting average, you know, the good percentages, right? Mm-hmm. On base percentage, slugging percentage, which I'm starting to understand finally. You see those through the 6 games; they've just all been going down. Now, what that means is that always a bad thing? Who knows? That's what you guys know better than I do. But hopefully they can get that figured out. But still, regardless, you know,
You're too kind, Will. Thank you. You're too kind. It's the Whitney shirt. It brings out the best in me. I love it.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
I don't know what I was gonna say. I went to the. Oh no! Oh no!
And also, the White Sox are a very good team. That is very true. The White
Who's
Sox.
here?
Hey, I was giving the Royal standpoint here. You didn't let me talk about the White Sox batting. Yeah, they destroyed the Royals.
He just shows up. It's like the mating call. You hear White Sox. Oh, gotta get out of bed.
Here comes Sheets.
Here comes Sheets.
No, Sheets, your White Sox team is very good this year. There's no doubt about it. I definitely overplayed it as a Royals loss more than a White Sox win. I mean, they definitely jumped on Brad Keller early on in the game, which goes to show the White Sox. I mean, they're favorited as one of the top teams in the division. I think as far as before the season started, them and the Twins were the 2 teams with the highest percentage of winning the Central this year. So you got to remember that. There's a lot of respectable bats in the White Sox lineup.
First complete game this season.
For anybody?
For MLB, yeah.
There you go. And Lance Lynn, I think he had the most pitches thrown last year by a starting pitcher, if I'm correct. He's got a high he is your innings guy. He is the innings guy in the White Sox rotation.
Lance Lynn.
But there's a lot of bats on this team. Eaton, Abreu, Moncada, Mercedes.
Has Abreu always been on the White Sox?
Yes, Jose Abreu. He needs no introduction, but he is a big bat in the lineup.
They got a Mercedes in the lineup.
Mm-hmm.
They got Vince Vaughn. They got everyone.
Their corner infielders are they're hitters, man. Big bats.
Mm.
And the Royals just didn't get any contribution yesterday from their meat of the order, which is fine. I mean, all props to Lance Lynn on a good pitching performance yesterday. Well, when you throw 79 strikes out of 111 pitches, that's a high percentage right there. I can't do the math on top of my head, but
let's just hope that they played bad on that 2-game losing streak. Now talking about the Royals, they get a day off and maybe, I don't know, get an 8-2 win. Start batting. Last year was the pitching that was doing well, and so far the batting hasn't been doing bad until I don't know last few games they've been a little quiet.
And that's because they've gone up against some really good talent. Now we'll see today, or excuse me, not today. They're on a break today. tomorrow is Mike Minor, and then tomorrow Sunday is Brady Singer. So we'll see what we'll see what can come from that. Royals are still technically in second place in the Central with when it comes to winning percentage. So as far as the team where they're at in September, predictions for top 3 teams in both leagues. And for September, that's so far away. Maybe for July, around the halfway point of the season. I think right now the Orioles and Red Sox may start falling down as the season progresses. A team like the Blue Jays and Yankees, I could see them flipping up towards the top. Expect the Twins and White Sox to be the top 2 teams in the Central by the halfway point, maybe even September. I'm sticking with that because I haven't watched much of the Tigers this year, but I think Cleveland really hurt themselves this offseason as far as I don't see much talent in their full lineup. Royals, we just don't know yet, especially with how Brad Keller pitched yesterday. He's just not there. He's just not there yet as far as where he's supposed to be as your number 1 starter. Astros and Angels are playing out of their mind right now. Athletics was a surprise. Was rumored a surprise team going into the season, but they might have digged themselves too much of a hole.
They're 1-7. I get it, but again, it's too early, right?
It is too early.
Each team has more than 150 games remaining, so you got a lot.
Well, there's no he put a sad reaction on the post. There's no reason to be sad, man. It's okay. It's only the 6th game of 162 games.
And my little, I don't know anything about baseball 2 cents. I was kind of liking the Padres and Mets for some reason.
Yeah.
They made some big money moves and, kind of maybe the Padres piggybacking off other teams in the past. Not exactly the Royals, but right, Royals come out of nowhere. One season they get a winning season. Next season they're in the World Series. And the season after they win the World Series. So maybe Padres kind of picking after that. They have that I think they changed their ownership a couple years ago where now it's a mid-market team, correct? But they got a billionaire, so they can kind of
they went from mid-market to real big spinners.
200-300 million players on their roster.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, the Yankees, they haven't been there in a while, so if anyone knows anything about baseball, the Yankees' time should be coming soon.
Talking about as far as World Series goes?
Just my predictions, just both leagues, that's just who I'm thinking. The little Armand predictions. Take it as you must. Take it as you want. I don't know if that's a saying, but maybe the Angels. They got Shohei Ohtani. He's the most interesting man in baseball. That's my award. Most interesting man, and
the most interesting man.
The Mimit Award. And I think he's in the running for that this year. So
the what?
Mimit, most interesting man in baseball.
That's a new award.
New award. Well, when was the last time we had a batter, a good batter, good pitcher?
I can't remember.
Honestly, Babe Ruth, that's the only guy
Zach Greinke. Hey, he had a home run. He had a home run. Oh no, Carlos Zambrano. Is that Carlos Zambrano?
Carlos Beltran.
Not Carlos Beltran, but there was
Carlos
a pitcher on the Cubs called Carlos Zambrano. I think that's a name, but he always hit a dinger or two in a season. I like what you said. Mets in the East could pick up some steam and get going. Phillies right now have a good lead, have a 2-game lead over them.
Phillies. I never was a big fan of the Phillies.
Cardinals are a surprising team way they got started this year, and then that cracks me up. The Padres are like the they work with the transfer portal of baseball with free agency.
Well, they got a good pitching lineup, right? Mm-hmm. We talked about it. They got my brother from another mother, Yu Darvish, and then they have the Rays. What was his name? The Rays pitcher from the World Series.
Yeah, that they took out too early.
Yeah.
All right, Pavin brought it up. You got
Masters, huh?
Blake Snell.
Talking to the golf master about the Masters. Well, let's check this leaderboard.
Armand's got his picks. That's for sure.
Yeah, I got to pick six picks, and no one can trash that because that's just a little more than 6% of the field. So that's like coming into the NFL, NBA, MLB season saying, I think one of these two teams is going to win. Mm-hmm. Right? So it's the same thing. right? And of those 6, a couple of them not doing too hot right now.
You can follow along with all of Armand's master takes on Twitter at Persia's Greatest.
At Persia's Greatest. But I don't know. I don't know what to say. I'll just start with some fun facts. Justin Rose, I think, was -6 yesterday. He was beat in the field, he was -7. He was beat in the field by like 4 strokes.
Yeah.
Last year, Dustin Johnson led the first round, ended up winning. In the last 30 years, following a year where the first round leader ends up getting their size of the green jacket, the next year's first round leader, he doesn't win. So I'm not expecting the Englishman, at least Justin Rose, to win this Masters. But maybe he's going to throw a club in my mouth. I don't know. Maybe he's going to say no. But as for that, if you are one of the 3 people who follow me, my Masters tweets on Twitter, you'll see that in the last 30 years, there have only been 3 golfers who've overcame a deficit of more than 5 strokes from the first round and won the Masters. And it's 3 times it was 6, and the only time it was 7 was Tiger Woods, I believe 2005.
Stroke.
So when you look at that, you see that there are a lot of favorites who aren't in the running anymore, right? And let me pull up my tweet because I tweeted about it.
At Persia's Greatest.
No, well, it just like Justin Thomas, right? A lot of people liked him. Bovin, Grant Parks was a big fan of JT. He was saying him because he said DJ last year. And a lot of people like Thomas, they were riding with him. He's +1 right now. Maybe he'll shut me up because he's not too far behind. What Woods had in 2005 was a fantastic, I think, second or third round, or I think it was second and third round.
Mm-hmm.
First round atrocious, and then and here's a cool thing. Looking at it, Tiger Woods wasn't the best in the first round of the Masters. He kind of shot himself in the foot there, except for, I think, in 1997. But, that's Tiger Woods. And then, Dustin Johnson, the reigning champion. We haven't had back-to-back winners since Woods did it, like 01, 02, something like that. And he's +2. And then you got the engineer, the analytic guy, the scientist. DeChambeau has more protein than we have water in a day, right? He's +4. He hits the ball so far, he doesn't listen to what his caddy says, right? He just does whatever he wants to do. He's +4. He was a lot of people's favorites. He was part of my top 6, part of the 6 people who I thought. And, there were a couple guys, I had Corey Connors from Canada and C.T. Pan, I think, because someone from the continent of Asia has actually, only one has won a major. No one has ever won a Masters. And that doesn't mean there aren't good golfers. There are some. Morikawa, Na. Na's been here for a while. Last year, what was the name of the guy? Funny-looking guy. Rookie, maybe. Young kid. He's a kid. He has a baby face. Got second place. So maybe it is time for that barrier to be broken. So I thought C.T. Pan would do it, but he was +7, I think, yesterday. So my little shocker pick didn't go well. But of the 2 of my 6 that are doing well, that I actually think keep an eye on, come Sunday, they're going to still be there. It's 2 reigning champions. And Patrick Reed and Jordan Spieth, right?
Those are 2 guys that are still going to be there on Sunday.
Spieth was -1, Reed was -2. Yesterday. Yeah, I think they'll still be there because look, Rose is already +2 today. And again, it is the second day. Ryan Bipley, I was texting him yesterday. He's like, don't worry, Armand, because I'm actually on the leaderboard. If you take the first letter out of each golfer's last name, you notice who's in third place right now, who shot a 69 in round 1, -3. Just take out the H, it's Armand. I think Harmon, whoever Harmon is, but I really like him. I hope he does it. Matsuyama, who I had mentioned, I think I had him in my Big 16 list, but I didn't pick him for the 6, so I won't take credit for that. But he's also third. Let's see if guy from Japan, if he can keep it going. But I'd watch out for Reed and also Simpson. I think it's Webb Simpson. For some reason, his name was popping when I was searching some things, and he's still there. But look at those guys who shot, let's see, 65. Guys who shot 72 or better. Guys who shot par or better yesterday. Only one of them is going to win. So that's 19 golfers. That takes away a lot of the favorites. I think 7 out of the 10 Vegas favorites. So again, it's going to be more of it could be a surprising Masters because last year was a favorite. And the year before, it was, one of the best to ever do it in Augusta, right? And Tiger Woods, who hadn't done it in a while. But you had 2 who I'm going to call old heads. So I think now it's time for a young guy to do it. And I think that's how it's going to work. But we'll see how it plays out. We'll get more information, as the days come. And today's day just started.
Someone shouting out, don't forget about Mark Leishman.
That's Mo. Mo is in Mo's right. Don't forget about Leishman. Leishman, I think, is
he's a top. He's
another international guy. Remember, what did I tell you? He's from Australia.
Yep.
I said one of 2 things is going to happen this Masters. Either non-American's going to win, or we're going to go into a playoff. Because we're due for one of those to happen. And you're right, Leishman, the Australian, another guy up there. Yesterday, I was looking at some stats I had, and I was looking at those top 19 and trying to see who matched with those. Those aren't my picks, not my picks. I'm sticking with those 6 picks. I got to stick with them. But there was another group of 6 guys, including Spieth, other people like Rahm, the Spanish, right? Xander Schauffele, one of the coolest names in golf. Cameron Champ, right? Another young guy. Those guys were sticking out, Simpson and Leishman. For some reason, those 6 were matching one of these little commonalities I found in prior Masters champions. So keep a look for them. I know I probably mentioned half the field now, but
no, that's all right. You mentioned
what it is.
You mentioned possibly a playoff happening. When was the last playoff that happened? Was it the one that I talked about today, or was there a playoff that maybe had happened between
2017?
It was 2017 with Sergio Garcia and who's currently at the top of the leaderboard right now, Justin Rose.
Yes.
But you think he won't be there on day? You don't think he'll be competing in the top, competing for green jacket?
I don't think he'll be in the size of a green jacket. I don't think it's going to come in his size. I don't think it's going to be him. But
will he be in sight of a green jacket on Masters Sunday?
Who knows? But he's already +2 today.
Yeah.
He had a 4-stroke lead, so probably everyone was telling him, "Hey, don't sweat it. You got a 4-stroke lead," and that's the last thing you can tell. Just like if we bring it back to baseball, first game of the season, who was it? Rangers, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Rangers had 5 runs in the first inning, top of the first. I bet they told the Rangers pitcher, "Hey man, don't sweat it. We got a 5-run lead." What happens? Tied 5-5. So when you have the making for just choking, when you have everything ready for you're gonna do it, barring a big choke, you're probably gonna choke. But Justin Rose, I remember looking at the last few majors. For some reason, I would always try and pick him, and he never pleased me. But maybe the time I don't pick him, he does well. But if you look at the last playoffs, right? 2017, 4 years ago. 2013, 4 years before that. And then the year before that, Watson, 2012, also had a playoff. Before that, 2009, that's 3 years. Before that, 2005, that's 4 years. So you're kind of seeing this pattern. Right? 4, 3, the next year. 4, and then what are we? We've already had 3 Masters pass, so maybe it is. Maybe it is going to be this one's going to be the playoff. And again, Sergio Garcia, guy from Spain, another old head who who hadn't won a Masters in ever. But he's been there for a while, right? He's lost he had lost 18 times before. So his time was coming. That was also the last time an international man had won it. So we'll see if that continues.
I'm going to get you a green jacket for that run through right there.
You're right, Lily. I'm sorry. I guess I told you this was going to be a crazy show.
No, that's what I was saying.
It was that McDonald's food.
No, I'm going to go get you your green hoodie to wear. Should have had you wear that today.
I wish I had that too, but it's nowhere to be found. So.
You got lost.
Yeah.
Got lost on hole 9.
I don't know. Yeah. On hole 9. Yeah.
Have you ever been golfing?
Like 5 times. I suck. I am atrocious. Golf is one of those sports that's competing at what I'm worse at.
Is this have you ever played a full 18, or is it every time?
I did once.
Okay, tell me about
Lily
that.
was there with us, and so were our friends Jeff and Marty.
Yeah.
And as Marty puts it, those first 6 holes, I don't know. I was doing better than what you'd think for a guy who'd never played golf, who'd never done a 18, who'd done maybe four rounds of 9 holes. You're funny, Bennett. You're funny, right? Yeah, Marty was saying this. Those 6 holes, I was doing well. I was, I can't play well, so how I was scoring in my head was I could have putted for par, like 5 out of 6 of those holes.
That's good. I'd say that's pretty good.
And then what they say is after those 6, they say after 9, but it was truly after 6. I stopped playing golf. I started playing croquet. I could not get the ball. I could not get the ball in the air.
That's my problem,
I
too.
could not play for the life of me. And maybe that was my fault for not packing enough water. It was a hot day, and it was last summer, so the bathrooms weren't open, and there was no water.
The beer to water ratio was pretty.
Yeah, I got Truly
to water ratio.
Other people, unnamed people who we were golfing with, kept stealing our alcohol. So I was like, okay, they aren't going to steal it this time. The one time where we didn't need alcohol.
Truly is a good one, though. I would say that's actually not a
Yeah,
bad.
it's not good when you need to hydrate, right?
No,
Sometimes water's key when you're really tired, when you've done a great workout, or sometimes when you're struggling. Hey, sometimes when you're struggling, right? But and I was struggling with golf, and I needed the water, but yeah, I could not play. But oh well.
It's okay.
It is kind of fun. It's fun the better you are at it. Kind of like with anything.
I like driving the golf cart. That's my thing. If anybody needs someone just to drive the golf cart around.
Yeah, I had a personal caddy with me, so
very
just
nice.
drinking her Truly and driving me around.
Raj wants to know about our thoughts on the first leg of Champions League.
Champions League, huh?
Well, which team got screwed over? It was Dortmund.
Dortmund. There were some good games. I kept an eye on the Man City Dortmund one and the Bayern PSG.
You did better than I did.
Dortmund, that ref kind of cheated them out. Calls a penalty kick against Dortmund. Mm-hmm. Right? Man City's about to kick a penalty kick while they're already up 1-0. And you look at the review, the guy didn't even touch his foot. Like, it wasn't even close to a foul. It wasn't even one of those that you shouldn't really call it. It wasn't even that. It was like foul. It was that. So
Ticky-tack.
They go to VAR, and when they went to VAR and they changed it, call it no penalty, the ref should have took the beginner class that I took a while ago. Because he should have seen that when you replayed and you see the guy dove, you got to give that guy a card. Why didn't you give him a card? Why didn't you give the Man City guy a card? And what I hate about these European refs, maybe kind of like any ref, you do have to have confidence. But when you have absurd cockiness that combines with just being bad at your job, and because it continues, right? He just didn't care, right? It continues. The next play, or a few minutes later, Dortmund is about to tie it up. Kicks the ball around the goalie. The goalie even tried to trip the forward or trip the player, the Dortmund player. I didn't recognize him. Didn't know his name. Kicks in the goal. They call foul. Foul on the player. Foul against the goalie. Well, I get it. You protect the goalie, right? 1, the goalie's out of the box. Mm-hmm. And 2, their foots hit each other. In that play, looking at that play, you look at the replay. If you're going to call a foul at all, you're calling a foul on the goalie because he tried to trip the kicker. If I try to trip you, they aren't going to call a foul on Marco. So this guy's got to read his rules again. Dortmund ended up tying it, and Man City won, I think, 87th minute. But, when we've seen this, doesn't matter what sport, we've seen it. Basketball, football, soccer, baseball. When people are put in a position of power, and they abuse that position of power, just doesn't make it fun anymore. Doesn't make it not a worthwhile. And they ruin it. And we've seen it. Maybe we're paying attention to it more in the last year, but we see it regardless of sport.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. And that foul was a non-reviewable play, technically.
Yeah, I guess they couldn't review it, right?
See, that doesn't make sense because you have a referee that's supposed to be making. There's a referee up in the booth that's supposed to be watching those replays and then being the one that can make the decision regardless of what the other referees on the field are, what their decision is. He can overturn a decision and be like, hey, this is reviewable. And like you said, if you watch the review, the forward makes contact with the ball before him and the goalie even touch each other in that play. And yeah, Bennett, you're right. Basketball refs are the worst are the worst when it comes to it, because we kind of saw it kind of a few times in the tournament this year.
But this is what we got to say. It's hard to agree with that, and that's the sad thing. I think the refs are competing at who's worse. You think basketball's worse, and then football's gonna add a rule a few years ago, right? And say, okay, we're gonna review passing interference. We're gonna make it better now. Mm-hmm. When it in turn becomes worse, and then that follows a few years before that, where soccer says we're gonna make it better. We're gonna add VAR. Somehow review makes it worse, and I don't know how. I don't know how when you review something, it's going to make it worse. But we've seen it in the same name sport, two different sports, two different types of football. We've seen it. We've seen it to the point where I didn't know what was worse, VAR or replaying passing interference. They compete, and then it comes to the refs. Who's the worst? And I don't know. We've seen it with NBA college, and who is the worst? We've seen that one NBA guy who you look at his who he calls fouls against. He was calling technicals on Harden and all that. I remember we were watching it in the bubble playoffs, and then you had against the Chiefs. And again, I'm not putting it on that excuse, but when you look at the Chiefs games this season, where the only 3 games where they had 10 fouls called on them was by the same ref crew. So you got to follow those refs. You got to see these refs who have a track
reputation,
reputation of calling more fouls compared to the average, right? If everyone's has a batting average of 300 and I go and I'm the guy who's a batting average of 0.1, they're going to pull me out because it's not up to par. It's not up to par.
It's not the batting coach. It's not the batting coach's fault.
I'm hurting the team.
I'm thinking, before, literally we started off the show talking about review or even ball tracking in golf and tennis, and they use that to review. They use the ball tracker in tennis to review plays all the time. Do we see that in tennis too, where they penalize a player, or I guess they give them a technical foul, the version of a technical foul in their sport?
In tennis, I feel like
when just the arguing comes up, when it comes to arguing, I feel like the referees are quick to. And you see it in baseball as well, quick to throw a player out.
I'm on the TV.
Oh, you're on the TV right now. Yeah, we got the Masters on in the background.
Armand is batting. But yeah, with tennis, they'll call their version of the technical foul, I believe, right, where they give them a warning or whatever. We've seen it with some of the top players, right? Serena, Djokovic, before Federer, Nadal. Even some of the more rowdier guys. I'm blanking on their names. There's a New Zealand guy, Andy Murray. Before, there's a New Zealand tennis player who's notorious for kind of Kyrgios, I think his name is. But the thing with tennis is reviewing that I like is that they've even said, and I remember when VAR came, they said the one review that seems perfect is that tennis review, which if you think about it in your head, how can they review a ball moving at 200 miles per hour? And they have the fans start clapping, right? And you look at the screen and it shows the shadow where the ball hit in corresponding to the lines. Somehow the technology in the ball, they got like the top golf balls with tennis size. And that's probably the best review. And I don't think that is the best review. I don't know why. There's a lot of different factors for it, but they got to use that technology and see why that works for that sport and not the other sports.
I'll ask a question for the audience, live and virtual. Would you want to see a robot? Maybe not exactly a robot behind home plate, but a virtual umpire where the strike zone's already set, because that's another big thing in baseball with the officials is just the inconsistency of a strike zone for hitters and pitchers. And it's both ways on that one, because pitchers hit the strike zone, get called balls. That gets them angry, and then you have you have strikes you have balls that should be strikes, or excuse me, strikes that should be balls that get the batter angry. Wouldn't it be better just to have? And I'm not saying let's go full robots with field umpires, because I definitely think you need those around the bases and outfield, but specifically behind home plate. Player size is strike zone can be reliant on player size, but that's to say. But I mean, you can adjust that technological on the screen. We see it all the time with the strike zone that you get while watching baseball.
You see the first down line, right?
Huh?
The first down line in football, right? That's
it's your
TV,
what it is it's your knees to your chest. Knees to your chest. That's the strike. That's what the perfect strike zone. That's when that's what they teach you when you first play baseball. Is it's your knees to chest is your strike zone. We once had a kid go up to the plate and he squat batted just so it would, shrink the strike zone, because
are you allowed to do that?
Yeah.
Really?
I don't know if you're allowed to do it at the major league level. You're definitely allowed to do it at the 3-2 fields.
What I tell them, listen, I suck. I might not even hit it. So just give me a slow one so we can all have fun. You're still going to get me out. I'm not that fast. So let's just at least have fun with it.
It is tough. Yeah, because crappy calls are part of sports, and there's no perfect world. There's no perfect. There's no
except
perfect
in tennis.
Except in tennis. There's perfect in tennis.
I guess not.
Hasn't Serena Williams been like? Hasn't?
Oh yeah, she
refs get really testy with her, which I'm like, hey Serena, if I was an official, I'd be like, you're probably right, Serena, my bad.
But I feel like on the other way around, that ref, again, that person in the position of power, looks at that top athlete in their respective sport, in their respective division, and thinks that, that athlete thinks they can have anything they want. I'm going to prove them wrong. No, I'm in charge here. You're not. And you can look at the different ways, right, wrong, whatever, but that's when that little power hungry comes, right? Mm-hmm. Power hungry people who, can make things less fun, especially when they don't realize it. But, I should say this. It is easy to sit here in this chair and complain about the refs and stuff. If I was there, I would just be crying. I couldn't ref, 12-year-old soccer. So I know I can't do it. And maybe Will's right? These bad calls, they are a part of sports, whether we like it or not, because sports isn't a perfect world. If it was perfect, we'd find different reasons to not like it. I just want it to be better if it can be better. And I think there are ways that it can be better. And I think there are ways that it's feasible and it's possible. But we'll see if they decide that way.
Isn't getting officials at the young sports level tough right now? There's a need for officials.
I mean, I would see why, because the parents make it it's horrible. I remember once I saw this tweet of these hockey officials, remember, one, your players aren't in the NHL. Two, these refs are still kids. You're yelling at them and all this. The worst was when the parents would call it a bad call when it was a very simple by-the-book rule. That it actually isn't a bad. It's a coach,
right?
It's not a bad call. You just can't help them when they don't know the rules, like offsides or how to do a throw-in, right? Those are simple things. Just open a book, just watch the game, and you'll see. But
the ones that I claim,
get through the side of the net.
Did something happen?
No, just memories of. I forgot about that. Soccer memories.
Did you kick it in the side of the net and it was a goal?
No.
Did the referee call it a non-goal a goal? Oh no. Did Bennett?
I'll give you the short story. I think there was once we were up 1-0, and the other team, there was a couple guys from our school on that team. I think Sahan was on that team.
Yeah.
I think it was on that team, and they kicked it through the side of the net because it's Heritage Field, so the nets aren't perfect. We all know that. And
Heritage was
they kicked it through the side of the net.
Yeah,
and they called it a goal. We were all pissed. Or who was most pissed? It was the coaches, and one of the coaches, if I remember correct, I think I remember which coach it was, Bennett. yells, "Hey!" Whoever, one of our best players, "Hey, kick it through the side of the net, just to tie it up." There's tons of stories of sometimes my dad of getting really mad at the ref, and really, I mean, we are
That's
all
fine.
biased, but it was the ref's fault. Some of these refs, and these were older refs too. So once I think the ref once told my dad, you know my dad, right? Once told my dad, "Hey, sir, I think I know more than you about soccer." The other coaches did not like that. You're right. I thought it was Logan Meelan's dad. Yeah, it was my dad. Yeah, my dad sometimes got angry.
He did a Bob Knight. He threw
There was once when Sahan was on our team.
Yeah.
They called a foul. I think they called a handball or something. They gave him a yellow card and whatever. And my dad's kind of yelling. And then they said, "You're right. He does have a PC. We all know that."
Has a
And
PhD in soccer.
that's when the ref started saying, I could have swore the ref called him stupid, and my dad did not like that. But the ref, said, "Sir, I think I know more than you." And one of the other coaches, Bailey Nolan's dad, was on one of our coaches, our head coach at the time. He was like, "How old are you, sir?" And my dad at halftime, him and the ref manager, right? We're all talking and all that. And I think there were 3 times. That was one of them, but there were 2 other times where my dad almost got kicked out too. One for
hell
my
yeah.
game, one for Arian's game.
That would have been fun. That would have been fun to see.
Yeah.
I just remember when I ref for you.
Oh, Biz!
Poor Biz.
What?
See, that's terrible right there. I always remember going into 3-2, baseball or softball. They'd have that sign be posted out on the fence that said, "You can only choose one: be a spectator, be an official, be a player, and be a fan or something like that. You can only pick one. Be a parent or something. Be a parent." And my dad always joked. He's like, "I always pick official."
Yeah, none of the above. I actually think Kick Move Underscored said he used to be a basketball ref back in the day.
Oh,
too.
man.
So I'm sure he has the stories too.
I once had a parent and a coach argue that PKs didn't exist. I had called a penalty kick, and they were so confused what it was, and I was like, "Your player." It's like it was a foul in the box. It's a penalty, and they said, He's like, "What is this supposed to be, like a free throw in soccer?" And I said, "I guess."
No, I had once the coach was yelling at me, thought whenever a player was in the offside position, you should call the offside. But no, it's when they get the ball passed to them. You don't just call it. She didn't understand offside. What do you do when you try to explain to them? And I'm 15, 16. You look 35. You're like 20 years older than me. And you're coaching these girls. How do you not know? Even the other coaches were trying to say it and got mad when, hey, actually it was my cousin Sophie's brother.
Yeah.
My cousin David was the other side ref, and he finally called offsides because it was offside at that time. And she's like, "Oh, finally he calls it."
One time, I think the funniest thing that happened, and this is the parent didn't get angry at me, or the coach didn't get angry at me, but he had called timeout in the middle of the game. He said, "Timeout, timeout," and he told his players to come to the sideline. Yeah, soccer. That's what happens, man. Sometimes parents just really get volunteered into the coaching or get put into the coaching spot.
Can't believe Bibbs had some. I think I've heard that before.
I've never seen that. I would never wish that upon any official, to be followed to their car after a game. That's a bad parent example right there. That's getting too angry at a youth sports game. It's another thing. I had showed up to my nephew's soccer game. This is probably last year. Or no, this is in the fall. Up at OP Fields, Shields complex, complex. And it was a 10-year-old soccer tournament. And they had these were probably like middle schoolers reffing or something. And the parents on the other side were just digging into the center ref, just digging. And their team was kicking my nephew's team's butt. But they were just digging into the ref to the point the field marshal came over. The field marshal had to show up at a 10-year-old soccer game and escort a parent out of the facilities. That's That's where it gets real. That's where I just laugh at it. There's
Yeah.
funny moments in it, but it's just like, come on.
I felt
man.
bad sometimes for refs too. Some Arians games, seeing other teams' parents just yelling at these. They don't remember their kids. Also, these parents have nothing else to do. They
Terrell said the kids were always cussing at him. I've never had that
That
experience before where the
That
kids got
sucks.
mad. Did you ever have a player turn on you?
not to that.
Like, hey, bleep. No, never to that
Not
extent.
to that point. And I mean, there were times as players where refs were so bad. And we're a respectful team. But if my dad even got to the point where he said, "Okay, this refs was so bad, I'm not even going to shake their hand," our team, or if our coaches are like, our teams aren't going to. Okay, fine, we aren't going to shake their hand.
He protested. Yeah, always feel bad for the kids in that situation. Always do. It can be really bad, like at the point where you're getting followed to your car, dangerous, or it can just be
But
funny
that's just
when
scary.
a parent gets
Maybe
taken
it
to their
is
car.
the area. We live in that great, bubble area of South Johnson
Maybe-
County, right? And the parents are even worse.
Maybe we need to go be soccer refs again. I might do that. Might do that on the weekends again. Just get a kick at everyone.
Uh-oh.
Did you get thrown out and they have to write you a thing? Did you have to write a apology?
Did your parents get mad?
Yeah.
Yeah, that can happen.
That happened to a kid at in one of our games. He threw his mitt on the ground and said the F word to the ref. And when you get thrown out of if you're a player that gets thrown out of a 3-2 baseball league game back in whatever year this was, you had to basically write an apology to the official. Yeah, you got a suspension. Not a very good time.
Also, what's hilarious is our age, us kids, when we're ref, we're not trying to be the next big ref. Just trying to make some good money. We're
Yeah.
just there. We don't
Sorry.
care.
Some tax-free
Tax.
some tax-free money, baby.
Yeah, I bet your parents were not. Yeah. Our parents are not. They can yell. They can yell at the refs, but we as young players show disrespect. It's kotak.
It's very. No.
You don't know what kotak is. Kotak is the person.
The parents can set a bad
for
example, but
spanking.
once the kids do, nope, it's game over. You're punished.
Pipsqueaks. Ugh. Fourth grade Rajat was not a pipsqueak. Come on.
Someone was streaking on the field at the Man U game.
Yeah.
Really
Did you see that guy? That was
He was
crazy.
a full-on streaker,
That
man.
was crazy.
They got some pictures of
What's
him.
funny is when they were escorting him out, it seemed like they just all were like walking. It's three friends, two people clothes. That's what it was. 2.5 clothes. That's what it was called.
That's what happens around here sometimes. Terrell runs around butt naked, and me and Armand just like, what the hell? No.
Wow.
I'm so sorry, Raj. All
Well,
right,
I
have
don't know.
fun. We're gonna go
It
do our,
depends
we're
what
gonna do
time
our
the
chores.
game was. Was it Saturday, Sunday, right? Sometime between 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. That's when they got the samples at Costco, right?
Yeah, the
So-
Costco samples. Those are back now. And yeah. Went to Costco a couple weeks ago.
Costco samples. Uh-oh.
11-year-old.
We all had a competitive ego. Well, my competitive ego halted once I realized the genes didn't pass.
There used to be an Do you have like a umpire or ref from your childhood days that you remember specifically that you never liked to see officiating your games?
Well, there was that one guy who I think he was the one who twice, I think it was the
Mhm.
same one where my dad, there was one my game, one Arian's game, and my dad almost got thrown out. So
Not that guy.
So
Yeah.
I
Was it
felt
an
like
old
it was
looking
that
guy?
an
Could
old
barely
one.
make it up now.
There was one
was
old-looking guy who he gave Arian a yellow card, which I love, but it was it was not even a yellow card reason. Guy's kicking a free kick on the other team, and Arian gets in front of him because he didn't ask for 10.
Yeah.
Guy goes to kick it, and he doesn't kick it, and then so he adjusts his position. So Arian adjusts his position. Ref tells Arian to come here. Yellow card. For what reason? I was clapping. My dad wasn't having it. I was because
You
Arian got a
clapped
yellow
to your
card.
brother getting a yellow
That's
card.
a pretty cool thing. But there was no reason to, that's not a rule. You don't just give a yellow card just because, you smell, here's a yellow card. No, it's got to be by the book. So,
Right.
and this
you get
guy,
sarcastic with the refs.
This guy, though, was
Yeah.
old.
Damn.
He was probably retired, so I don't know why he was coaching soccer.
He was so old. He was retired.
Babes, you got to scroll up. Sharp told us that you got followed once by an angry dad, and I feel like I'd heard that before. So
And softball,
kind of-
a softball game. That's terrible,
it's
man.
kind of crazy.
I remember there was this one ref at 3-2 or umpire at 3-2 I didn't like, and he wore those squished to your eyes sunglasses that every game, no matter what the weather was, it could be cloudy, cloudy, sunny, no sun in sight, which doesn't make sense now that I say that. But anyway, he always just wore the sunglasses, and so I always used to make fun of him because it would affect his eyesight during the games. I think he was one of those umpires that knew he was umpiring a kid's baseball game, and so he just blatantly do stuff to piss us off. But I just remember him as shades guy because he always wore his shades.
Yeah, there are the ones. Old basketball ref, older guy, slicked hair with middle school. I remember too. Not like a bad ref. You just remember those guys, and you're right. And I feel like they would recognize you. Now I wonder why these older people, Ford probably, if we're guessing their ages, 40s, 50s. Like I wonder what their full-time job is. They're just reffing middle school kids. Sports.
Hey man, they work it. They're hustling. They're getting
good
money.
for them. Like if there's the position to high school, and then high school maybe you get to college. Like is that how it goes? Do you have to start in middle school?
Maybe you definitely got to get your experience in a different leagues. I met a guy who reffed D3 football, which he made it sound like it was a tough process to go through to get there, and I'm like. I guess coming from someone who peaked at U8 soccer, I don't know what the.
You're right. Yeah, I think U10 soccer was where I.
They went out.
Didn't score. I felt like I peaked.
They told us in the refereeing class the steps to get to like FIFA referee, but at my time that was not one of my dreams or aspirations. I just wanted to get through the 8 hours.
Paid well, but
they do pay well.
And I feel like the older you get, the less you care. The bigger leagues you get, the less you care about fans being mad or players being mad. Uh-oh.
That's another thing. When there's no score involved, that people get upset. That's awesome. Just making calls because it was cool. The reward play.
Second grade baseball. Some of the kids don't even know all the rules. They're like,
why are my parents arguing right now? As we get towards the end of the show, it's been a very storytelling coffees on today. And it all started with Dortmund and Man City. Hey, remember the Champions League we were talking about that?
And we only got to one game.
PSG and Bayern play Tuesday. I can tell you right now, you said it, Armand. The teams that are probably we'd want to see in the final matchup are playing each other in the quarterfinals.
Yeah. Yeah, on that side, and then they're going to play each other in the semifinals. Man City, Dortmund, and Bayern PSG. So I wanted to see.
Chelsea should be able to take care of Porto the way they did in the first game. They should close out that pretty easily on Tuesday. PSG and Bayern, we'll see. You can't count Bayern out just yet.
Yeah.
Real Madrid and Liverpool, they took. I was kind of shocked that Real Madrid handled them pretty easily.
We'll see if Liverpool could come back. I mean, remember it's a 2 legs, so we'll see what they can do. But that was back to the Champions League. But
no, I got one more. I was going to say, no problem, Miss Martin. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to the last 10 minutes. Happy Friday. Yes, a good Friday. It's been a storytelling Friday.
If we are bringing it back. The Masters. Remember, I said Rose is now +3 through 8. So he's slowly that lead. Although he's one of the only ones who's golfed right now, slowly coming down. So someone's going to come. Maybe Armand with an H is going to come up.
If you haven't gotten Paramount Plus yet for Champions League, well, you can get I think you get a free 30 months. Or 30 months.
30 months?
Free 30 days. Get a free month. Instead of like a free week, free 2 weeks, I think they give you a whole month for your free trial. Then you can check out Casey Woso in their first, meaningful match in the last 4 years. It's game day for Kansas City NWSL team. as they play the Portland Thorns tonight in their Challenge Cup at 9:30 p.m. Central Standard Time on the parent. You can only watch it on Paramount Plus, but if you sign up for it today, like we said, you get to also watch Champions League, which is next week as well. So if you get that, if you sign up today to watch KC Woso tonight, you also get to watch the Champions League on Tuesday. But they kick off tonight at 9:30 against Portland in Portland in the 2020 Challenge Cup. Portland had finished last place in it, so we'll get a good eye of where this KC Woso team stands.
They showed a jersey, so
yeah, the away jerseys. The away jerseys came out. I like them. I like the
nice and clean and simple. We'll see what the one is home, so we'll see what the away one looks like.
But they're sticking with those colors, right?
I would assume so. Yeah, they haven't changed. It's their logo. It's their brand. It's part of. It's the color. It's the colors that they've been using on all the merch that they dropped. In fact, they had a new merch drop today.
Did you see one of the teams, New York, New Jersey, merged? It's called NYNJ, New York, New Jersey, Gotham FC.
Oh, that's so cool.
I wish they just called it Gotham FC, but
I like
they called New York, New Jersey, Gotham, and it's badass. Merged. So the logo, the N and it's NY, but the NY also looks like NJ. So however they made it, it's pretty cool.
I'll have to look that up.
We're going to say happy Friday to Uncle Maury.
Yep, happy Friday, Uncle Maury.
Hope you enjoy your day, too.
It looks like the sun's out. Hopefully no rain today like it was the last couple days.
Yeah.
We did not talk Mahomes' new shoes.
There, we can jump on that really quick.
Bibbs sent this tweet.
KC Woso, get the Paramount Plus tonight. You can watch him tonight at 9:30 Central. Hugh Williams, Pickett, Rodriguez, 2 names to watch out for in today's game. Expect a lot of goals to be scored.
You saw that they what is it called? They patented or whatever.
His logo, yeah.
His logo.
Because it received a lot of backlash.
Yeah, it was interesting, but again, it might just be a starting logo, right? Who knows? That's kind of what Biz was mentioning. I sent you this picture, but he's at the Masters right now. Mahomes is.
Kelsey, Trevor Lawrence. Was Gretzky there? Did they say Wayne Gretzky was there?
Makes sense because Gretzky's wife is Dustin Johnson's. Gretzky's daughter is Dustin Johnson's wife.
Okay.
Something Gretzky.
No, I'm looking at Mahomes shoes right now. In fact, Adidas calls it "Welcome to the Mahomes Zone."
Welcome to the Mahomes Zone, huh?
Because he gets a lot of touchdowns.
Wow.
No, I don't know. Yeah. That's exactly it.
I don't know. But that's not a golf shoe, right? Bibbs, that shoe that's just a regular shoe?
It looks like he's got cleats.
I don't know. Remember, I played golf with my Paulina Gretzky, that's her name. I got yeah.
Yeah! That's quite the
wow. Yeah, you needed a Persian rugs. Go to 81st and Warnell, right?
Spring cleaning.
Good food places, and Persian rug is a sign of luxury, right? It's a sign of royalty, right? Sure, it might be, but you want.
I did not know that.
I don't know. I'm kind of making that up.
No.
Persian rugs are like a big thing. You want the best food, you go to a place, right? You want the best apartment, you go to. You want the best rugs, you get a Persian rug. Right? Don't settle for mediocre. What did Richard Sherman say? Mediocre, right? You want mediocre? No.
No, I don't want mediocre.
Exactly. What's up? What's on your mind? Do you feel like you had something to say?
No, I was thinking Persian rugs, and then the expensive spice or the expensive
saffron.
Saffron. Is it a spice or seasoning?
I think it's a spice.
Okay.
Not that it's spicy, but
right.
It's a spice, right?
I'm just looking at his shoes now.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think those are.
You can get a practice jersey. Some of this is
for a Mahomes practice jersey.
You Google, if you look up Mahomes Adidas, this is the stuff that comes up.
I wouldn't mind. See,
some socks.
Basketball practice jerseys weren't expensive. Patrick Mahomes, the Adidas website. These things are really cool, but I also know every kid in our area is going to be having these things.
The shoes. It's going to be the latest trend. Adidas is big. You know what Adidas stands for?
All day dream about Soccer.
Yeah. My mom loves saying that one because soccer.
We can get a $30 football with Mississippi State,
Ooh.
Miami, the U, or ASU.
There we go. All right, everyone. That's it for today.
Yeah,
We're gonna go shopping.
We'll go shopping.
We're gonna get our Royals ticket.
Roy, yeah. Listen, I think we should still consider. I know you said you know why, but I think you're going to be fine.
I think we should. I think that's a good opportunity. Take advantage of the opportunity of a lifetime within lifetime of the opportunity.
We'll see you guys on Monday. We'll see you guys on Monday. Take care. Enjoy
See you
your
guys
weekend.
later. Thank you.